Yo, what's up, my dudes? Before I get back to watching more Mr. Nightmare with these, friend of mine, I wanted to get into chapter 3 of my A Mechanized World fanfic. Now, starting the chapter off is... Starting the chapter off is when it goes back to Westcott's point of view, and he sends his new subordinate after Shido, basically. And long story short, he gets to another spacious area with another boss fight. I'm not really going to go into the worlds. I'm just really going to go into the bosses, because the bosses are really the main focus, basically. There weren't really any enemies to fight or anything. So, I'm just going into the actual stuff. So, the boss fight, it starts off with his new subordinate finally revealing herself to be Origomi. She was also a robot or mechanized as well. She was actually going, I don't remember, but she was either gonna finish off Shido and then go after Westcott, or just go after Westcott. I don't remember which. Upon hearing that she was gonna betray them, the main antagonist finally reveals herself, which I like to call Tenka's core, basically. Tenka's core is basically Tenka from the original anime, but she's a lot stronger, and she has a lot of different powers, but I will not get into them until the final boss. But one of them was this new power where she could control anyone who was mechanized, directly, basically. She, not liking that Origami was actually going to stop her, or betray them, she actually had made Origami start to transform, and she actually had the rocket boots. Upon actually going into her transformation, she had the rocket boots from, that were like Gloam Bowser's, but basically from Brothership. I basically made a huge reference to that boss fight with his rocket boots, actually becoming part of Origami's transformation, and her, these blades would actually, become part of her, armor as well. And basically, she would also be fully mind controlled at that point. Just like with Robotoka, the orange glint in her eyes could be seen. And this is where Origami was completely taken over by Tenka's core, and it was just more manic and more psycho than ever before, basically. And this is where the third boss fight actually began. So, but this new form of Origami's gave her immense strength and immense speed, to where she was actually pinning Shido against the wall, actually denting the wall, basically. And Shido, realizing he couldn't really do anything, he was like, well, I don't really want to hurt her. I don't really want to attack full force, because I don't want to actually injure her. And he actually said this is a huge reference to Nagisa, his battle against Tarasaka, almost messed up the name, to where he actually uses a special move against Tarasaka. And this is where Shido actually was like, well, I can't really reason with her either, because her mental state's too out of whack. So he uses the same exact slap sound technique to actually throw Origami off, and actually one-shot her, actually. But he had to be really, really precise with the attack. As she charged at him, I think he had to drop his sword, and then when her focus was on that, he used the stun slap technique. That's what it's called. Stun slap technique. And surprisingly, the attack worked. And actually one-shotted her, actually dealing all of her health bar, and actually defeating her. Actually. And I know this wasn't really much of a boss, but I still really consider it a boss because Shido was still able to do stuff. And that's what I mainly consider a boss fight. Is if two people actually are able to like attack or counter each other's moves, which they were actually able to do. So I mean, it's still a boss fight though. So, but upon having that major defeat, Tenka's Court was not. She was pissed. She was not happy, and she actually was like, okay, that's it. I'm gonna eventually get Shido for that. But of course, snapping Origami to her senses, the orange glint disappeared, and I think he took her back to his base, I forget which. I think he did, because like after some of them, he takes them back to their base to actually rest and everything. So, Shido does, in case you're confused. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you enjoyed the boss fight, as well as the actually finally reveal of who the main antagonist is. But that's going to be it. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for probably chapter 4 eventually. So until next time, peace out.